Hey, what's going on, everybody? Who be 186 back again with another video. We're gonna be talking about the Nintendo Switch. I know I'm a couple days late because I worked during the weekend and this event took place. I think it was on the Thursday going into Friday, so I didn't really get a chance to see it. I frankly I wasn't gonna see it. I actually haven't seen it, but I know all the news that went on with the Switch, so I wanted to discuss that. Um, Today. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the price. I don't have a problem with the $300 price tag. I know a lot of people do. I don't know why, because I mean, most Nintendo products tend to sell around that. Um, I know the Wii U. I mean, the basic model was 300, and that system was underpowered. So I don't, I don't really get the what the fuss is all about. At the end of the day, 300 is not a bad price. I don't think it is. What's the bad the price? Some of the bad pricing is with their accessories and shit like that. So we'll get to that now regarding the controller. Now the controller, I saw the presentation of the controller especially when it first was announced when the Switch was officially announced. They were showing the Joy Cons and how they can be removed and put in and all different ways that you can use it. Most of it just seemed very convoluted to me. I don't think I would be using a single Joy-Con to play on that tiny ass screen because I'm like I mean it just doesn't look comfortable. But at the end of the day, if I can get a normal, like if I can get a normal controller setup with it, with the two Joy Cons on the side and something in the middle to give it some girth, then I can deal with it. You know what I mean? It's not ideal, but I can deal with it. What's not ideal is the price of the Pro controller. I don't understand why this thing is $70. Like I don't get it. Like I have one Xbox One controller, which is which is not which actually it came with the system, but they tend to retail around like 50 around 50 to 60. You can probably find some that's cheaper, some of the older models. And I have four PS4 controllers, three of them which I bought, and those fucking controllers are expensive, but they're like $60, right? These fucking controllers, these Pro controller, like, which is, I don't see what the fuck is so pro about this controller. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Like, with the Elite controller, I can understand the price. You know what I mean? It's detachable. You do all sorts of cool things with it, whatever. Um, this controller is a fucking regular controller. Like, I don't get why this thing is $70. And the Joy Cons, individual Joy Cons, I believe cost $50. Um, I think they have like a docking station which is 30, and they have the charging dock I believe is 90. So yeah, these accessories are really expensive. Um, but like I said, like if I were to buy a Switch, as long as I could get a normal controller setup, I can live with it. Um, the online. Oh my god, this online. Now first thing first, let me also say this. I For those of you who are calling out Nintendo for paying to play online, listen, it's not okay under any circumstances. It's not okay for Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo to charge to play games online. So I don't want to see people get at Nintendo for doing what everyone else is doing. Like it's common sense. I wish Nintendo would use this type of common sense for everything that Microsoft and Sony does for gamers that they don't do. But when it comes to online, it's business. You know what I mean? If people are willing to pay for it, they're going to do it. And as much as it sucks for me, and listen, I'm guilty too. You know what I mean? Granted, I did get PlayStation Plus when it was optional. It wasn't mandatory to have it to play online. I had it before, but you get what I'm saying. So and the only good news that I can say from Nintendo charging to play online, even if the overall thought behind it is bullshit. The only good thing that I can say about this is that at least it would incentivize Nintendo to take online gaming seriously. Which is if we're going to talk about the next couple items that I'm going to be talking about, then maybe it may not be the case. But First things first. With the online service, they're gonna offer you two free games. Apparently, I believe there's supposed to be one Super Nintendo and one Nintendo game for free, and both games are supposedly supposed to have online components in them, which is cool. Which is cool. What confuses me is that apparently once the month is over, those games disappear, and you get to download two more. You get to download two more, and I'm very confused by that. I don't get the idea behind it. I mean, maybe if someone in the comment section can let me know. I don't get the idea. I don't get the I personally don't get it, cause I don't know. I don't get it. But what else is there? Just give me one second. What else is there? Um, with the online. Okay, the system does not come with an Ethernet port out the box. Apparently you have to buy an adapter. Now, to I don't listen. For those of you who game wirelessly, I'm not saying it's impossible because I've done it before. It's not ideal compared to wired. It's not ideal. Not even a little bit. It's not impossible, but it's not ideal to have it. So I don't get why this fascination with them not putting Ethernet. I don't get the idea behind that. Why not put it in there? Especially when you're going to be charging people to play online. I would figure that you would put it in there just to, at the very least give people an opportunity to play online the best way possible. You know what I mean? And instead of having to force people to buy an Ethernet port, I mean, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. There was something else with the online that I. Oh yeah. The biggest issue. Um, Apparently now again, I don't think I've seen any Nintendo fan because I follow a lot of people. I follow a lot of Nintendo people on Twitter and stuff like that. So I haven't seen anyone um denounce this or not denounce, but say anything different. But apparently, you need to get an app in order to communicate with people online, and it has to be done through a smart device, either phone, tablet, what have you. Apparently you can't do it natively on the system. I don't understand why that is at all, and I also am trying to figure out why did they do this? What's the idea behind this? What's the purpose behind this? And apparently this app is supposed to cost money, which I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, man, I don't get it. Like I just don't get it with this company. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like on one end, you know what I mean? They're trying to. I guess the attempt is. I saw Reggie the comment today saying that with the servers that they are investing in, it's an investment. They need money to do this, and I I guess I think Sony said the same thing, but I mean if you're going to offer an online service, I feel like one of the core things is I should be able to talk to my friends natively on my system. And the fact that you have to download an app and hell and maybe in some people's cases may have to buy this app, it just doesn't make sense to me. But but at the end of the day, the most important thing with any system is the games, right? Now, the system apparently is only going to be launching with 5 games. I mean I don't know if anyone has said anything different. Like I don't think I don't think anyone has said it. I don't think it's been no one said anything different. But there's a list going around with 5 games being showcased, being launch titles, and I think that's to be honest with you, having a launch lineup of only 5 games is borderline unacceptable. It's borderline unacceptable. I don't get it. But even though like again it is a launch. Most launches are garbage, right? Not I don't think launches are this garbage, but most launches are garbage, right? I will say this. there are two games, native Nintendo games, that I'm actually looking forward to. One of them is Zelda Breath of the Wild. The game looks amazing. Like, I love the way the game looks. You know what I mean? Like it looks amazing. I don't know if it's I mean, look, I don't know if it's a game that I'm going to ever play, because I don't know if I'm buying this thing. I don't, at least right now. I can tell you right now I'm not buying this thing, but that's later on in the video. But it definitely looks amazing. But the game that probably impressed me more was the Mario game, Mario Odyssey. I was actually quite impressed with that game. You know what I mean? Like, granted, Mario is a completely milked character, and Nintendo has really I think it really hurt Nintendo that they've done everything in their power to put this character in everything. And personally, I think it's hurt them. But at the same time, like the Mario Odyssey game looks amazing. Like, I am very interested to at least play that game. It's a new setting for Mario. It's seemingly a more realistic world. So I mean, I have to say I was actually quite impressed. And graphically, and the leveling design is this seemed to be it does look very interesting to me. But obviously the main game that caught my attention was obviously Ultra Street Fighter 2. Now, the game definitely looks like the HD remix that was in the PS3, early PS3 360. Um, the game, obviously that game had a very beautiful, a very eye-catching art style. Now, I prefer the art style of the original, but at the same time, it definitely is a beautiful game. And according to what I saw from a video from Maximilian, this game is actually more of a successor to Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which is actually the first Street Fighter game to feature Akuma. Um, yeah, it was the first one to feature Akuma. So that's supposed to be kind of like a successor to that game. So that's pretty cool. Plus it has stuff like dramatic battle, which is when you get to have three people on screen fighting. Well, you have two. It's like a handicap match essentially. So you have that. And also, most importantly, they're gonna add two new characters. They're gonna add Evil Ryu, and they're also going to have Violent Ken, which is odd because the only other time Violent Ken's been in a game was actually in a Xbox fighting game exclusive called SNK versus Capcom Chaos, SVC Chaos, and he was in that game. That was really the only game he's been in, and that was made by that was a fighting game made by SNK. So that's interesting. But again, yeah, that game's interesting. And look, at the end of the day, like if Nintendo's gonna do stuff like that, take an old school game and kind of remix it and add certain things to it. At least when they get the developer to do it. I think I'm cool with that. I can live with that. I can dig that. You know what I mean? Like you give people an incentive to try out. One of the staple the hallmarks of the Super Nintendo game. Like that definitely one of the hallmarks of the Super Nintendo, the Street Fighter game. And you put a little remix to it. That's fine. You know what I mean? If you're not gonna get third party support, at least not to that extent, not to the extent that PS4 and Xbox One has. As much as that sucks, at the very least you give us something that's more unique than that, like more unique titles. And that's the thing that Nintendo's gonna have to do with this, because obviously I think it's clear as day that this system is very underpowered. Like apparently they're getting um last gen ports of some of these games. So obviously the system is fucking underpowered. So but with that, there comes an opportunity to create games that are more unique to the system. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to look as graphically impressive as the Xbox One and PS4, but at the same time, it can be something different. It could be something different. It could be something that's fun. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Overall, what's my opinion of the Switch? I'm I'm sorry, I got interrupted there for a second. Um, Overall, my opinion on the Switch, I'm not buying when I launch because I'll be frank, I don't trust the company with the system. Like again, there's lots of there's some positive, but there's also a lot of negatives with the system, and a lot of negatives are hallmarks of what made this company irrelevant in the first place, at least in my opinion. But with that said, again, like ultimately, the system's gonna succeed on the software, obviously. It's not the hardware. Obviously, people can, you can take this on the go and stuff like that. What the Wii U should have been, obviously. But you take this thing on the go, and you do this, you do that, whatever. And I understand the appeal of that. But ultimately, the software is going to be the driving force behind this thing. And I don't trust this company to make this thing worthwhile for me because they haven't done it for me for the past two generations. I saw through the Wii's bullshit. I saw past the gimmicky bullshit that they tried to trick consumers with the Wii. And and ever since then they're still chasing that dragon, man. They're still chasing that dragon. You know what I mean? Like the audience that they gained with the Wii, that dipped on them ever since, they're still going after them. You know what I mean? And they, that's just what the company is, and I can't trust a company like that. I can't trust a company like that. Now I'm not saying that the system is the worst thing in the world or anything like that, because I mean again, there's some stuff that I like. There's more that I don't like. But I'll keep an open mind to it. But at the same time, it's not because of the system. It's not because of the content. It's because of the company. And the funny thing that I see in this community, I see a lot of gamers giving this company a pass, saying, "Oh well, they can't compete with third party. They can't compete with Sony and Microsoft when it comes to third party. They can't do this. They can't do that. So why? So let them do this and let them do that. Let them be different." And listen, you can be different. You could definitely be different, but not different to the point where you don't give me an Ethernet port. Not different to the point where we can't even get a fucking basic Call of Duty game on here. You know what I mean? Like not different to the point where you get droughts and upon droughts of games. You know what I mean? That's not being different. That's being garbage. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between being different and offering a different experience and being trash. And as far as I'm concerned, this company's been trash for the past, how are we going, like 13, 14 years. You know what I mean? And you have a lot of gamers, Nintendo gamers obviously, because that's what they do, because they give Nintendo a pass. But I see a lot of gamers doing the same thing, regular gamers doing the same thing, and knowing damn well that shit would not be acceptable under the Microsoft umbrella or the Sony umbrella. Not acceptable. When the Xbox One came out with the DRM bullshit, what did they do? Gamers said no, fuck no, no, unacceptable. The fact that they may very well be charging you for an app to talk to people online is bullshit. Period. The fact that you can't that you have to actually download an app to begin with is bullshit. It don't make no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. But yet, well, what are people talking about? They're talking about Zelda. They're talking about Mario. They're not talking about this. You know what I mean? Like it seems like this is acceptable, and it's not. It shouldn't be acceptable. It wouldn't be acceptable under any other umbrella. But for Nintendo, they get a free pass. Why? Because they're Nintendo. You know what I mean? That's why. So overall, do I think the system is gonna succeed? To be frank, no. Because I don't trust the company. I simply don't trust the company to not have droughts. I don't trust the company to make compelling first party. Like again, I mean it's compelling first party past the normal first party that they've had the past couple of generations. Like you're gonna get a Mario Kart game. You're gonna get a Mario game. I mean, you barely got a Zelda game last generation. you're gonna get the staples. But what about everything else? And as far as I'm concerned, and I got some blowback from this when I said this before, but with the Wii U, they Nintendo put out the worst first party lineup they've ever had with that system. You got a bullshit Star Fox game. You didn't get an F-Zero game. I don't like F-Zero anyway, so it didn't bother me. But you didn't get an F-Zero game. You didn't get a Metro Prime game. You know what I mean? And they outside of Splatoon, what new IPs have they created that wasn't third party, that wasn't contracted third party. You know what I mean? Like, to me, they have to I have to see the company grow and change and to get better, and I don't know if that company is capable of doing that, because they're of their draconian past. I don't know if they're capable of it, and two, because they have a fan base that, by and large, even though, with the exception of the Wii, their fan base have gone down, have dwindled. I don't know if the remaining fan base is is going to call them out on it, or are going to at least stand up to the company and be like, yo, we need to see some real changes. You know, I don't know if we're gonna see that, and that's why I can't be optimistic about this machine, even if there's some things about it I like. It's the company that I don't trust. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Hopefully, you guys had a good day. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. I got King of Fighters 2000, so and showed you some Uncharted also. So that's pretty much it. Movie 186. I am out. Peace.